Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing? In this video, I am trying to explain some of the basic concepts of express entry. I have a detailed videos on how the comprehensive ranking system works, but this is kind of a precursor to that and an explanation series on how express entry itself works. Okay, I have been getting some questions on my Alberta PNP videos, so I think that explainer video on express entry will be helpful to my audience. So express entry is basically a pathway for anybody looking to migrate to Canada. One of the pathways to migrate to Canada based on your skills and experience. Okay. Now, under express entry, there are three distinct immigration programs that are managed, which is basically Canada Experience Class or CEC, a Federal Skilled Worker Program or FSWP, and for Federal Skills Trade Program or FSTP. Now, the difference is Canadian Experience Class, as the name suggests, is for people who already have a work experience in Canada, more than a year of work experience in Canada to be very specific. Federal Skilled Worker Program is for people who don't have a work experience in Canada and still want to migrate to Canada. They still can migrate under the FSWP program. Okay, and the Federal Skilled Trade Program is for certain occupations which are skilled trades and which needs a certificate of qualification. Okay, so if you want to learn about any of these programs, I'll share the link to this landing page, and you can check. Click on learn more, and you can check. Particular website provides you a tool. Okay, so even before you start working on your profile, a person should be able to understand whether he is eligible or not. So this tool, there is a tool here. So if you click here, if you answer few minimum questions, you should be able to assess yourself. You don't need any consultant or lawyer for this. Just few questions to fill up these forms. It's like a questionnaire. If you fill up these form, you will be able to understand whether you are eligible or not, and then you, based on this, it will give you more confidence on whether to go ahead with your application or not. Or it will also show you, it will also clarify to you whether there are any particular sections of your profile that you need to work on. Like for example, if you think that, it might tell you that, okay, you might get an idea that, okay, I need to work on my English language test or something like that, right? So it will give you an idea of this. So this is a very good tool. First question they ask, if you are planning to live in a particular province. If you have a particular province in mind, you can pick up. Otherwise, just choose one based on your most recent preference. So I live in Alberta, so I'm just putting Alberta, but I could have picked anything, BC, Ontario, anyone, right? Alberta. Next. Did you take any kind of language test? English is required. The language test is a minimum requirement for migrating to Canada. So you have to take a language test. So you have to take a test. I took Fswp. I'm selecting Fswp here. Next. When did I take this test? This test has to be within last 2 years. So I'll just select a date when I took this test. This is just an approximate date, not a specific date. How did you score? Understand, the better you score in these tests, the better would be your express entry points. So try and do your best here. I think I did like something like this. So yeah, 10s all over. Go ahead. If you have any other language test like French or something, you can put it, otherwise say none. I didn't take any second official language test, so I'm just putting none. In the last 3 years, how many years of experience you have in Canada? If you have a full-time experience in Canada, you can put it, otherwise put none. I have 1 year of experience, so I have more than a year of experience, so I'm just putting 1 year or more. What kind of NOC was it? So NOC A, there are different categories of NOC. NOC is a type of work that you are doing. So NOC A is basically professional occupations, B is skilled occupations, some kind of technical occupations which need some technical skill and technical know-how. 0 is managerial, and none of the above mean you're not aware. But if you look through the NOC list carefully, you should be able to find a NOC that matches the work that you are doing. I was a project manager, so managerial. Next. So based on these very basic questions, you will get a result. If you get a reference code like this, it means that based on the limited answers that you have given, the system thinks you are eligible. If you use this code, it gives you almost a month of time to use this code. If you use this code, some of the information that you have already filled will be kind of copied over to the Express Entry profile. Otherwise, you can always start your Express Entry profile fresh. Okay, so do this and then use this code. You will have to create your account here to create your Express Entry profile. So I'll cover that in a different video. This is how you proceed to the next steps. Okay, after this, it tells you what are the next steps that you are required to do. So you can keep a copy of this page, click these links to register, and then you can start your Express Entry profile. Okay, so this is what I wanted to cover in this first video. Basically, how to check whether you are eligible or not. Be ready for answers of these few questions, and you should be able to check whether you are eligible or not. In the next, there is one more tool available on Canada.ca site which helps you to check your points. Even before creating your profile, you can simulate what kind of points you will have, so that you can understand based on current trends where do you stand in the pool, or how good or how bad are your chances. Okay, so these tools are kind of very important, because once you create your Express Entry profile, you need to do some investment in your language test, in your education evaluations and things like that. So it's always good to understand that even after doing those evaluations and tests, where will you stand? And that is where the score simulator comes very handy. So I'll cover that in the next video. If you have any questions on this one, hit me up and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.